Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to the podcast on digital marketing and AI. I'm Neetu Deshwal, CEO and co-founder of Styler, a fashion tech AI, and we are with Professor Jaikumar. Professor Jaikumar, thank you so much for coming. Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Neetu. My name is Saravana Jaikumar. I've been a faculty of marketing with IIM Calcutta for about 10 years, almost 10 years now. I'm an associate professor there, and the main teaching that I do is on marketing analytics, digital marketing, and AI applications in marketing. So we have a team of people at IIM Calcutta who work actively in this particular domain. And so I've also initiated a program in India, which was AI powered marketing about 7 years ago, and was a really good, successful program. And recently, we've also launched strategic AI for leaders in India. That's also going successful at this point in time, mainly targeting the leadership roles in different companies of different scale. I've also been the incumbent director of digital marketing strategies, a program that has been running for about 8 years in India so far. So we have a lot of expertise in this domain at IIM Calcutta. So now we have decided, we'd want to
To
expand
an
our
AI.
AI in India, in
Okay.
UAE as well. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So both marketing and AI is very close to me because
Yeah.
professionally I was like my professional background starts with marketing.
Oh,
So
okay.
I used to head marketing and communication from for STS Group in Dubai.
Yeah.
So we used to do a lot of campaigns, like a
Okay.
lot of digital campaigns and off campaigns and everything. I just want to understand how marketing has changed over years.
Yeah.
What are your intakes in it? Like how
Yeah.
much AI people are actually adopting.
Okay, yeah. So when we talk about what changes this technologies are brought in, the fundamentals are really the same, right? So you need to understand the market really well. You need to know your
Yeah.
customer really well. You need to design your product, develop your product, meeting the market demands. So the fundamentals are really the same, but the way that we are approaching in terms of execution that has drastically transformed in the last decade or so. So digital marketing, everybody said, digital marketing is a new thing. It's not a new thing. It's
Yeah.
actually here already. And if you're not really having a strong digital presence, you're missing out on a lot of opportunities. With AI taking the forefront in almost all the conversations in boardrooms nowadays, people are trying to figure out how AI can be leveraged in the marketing domain. It's already making a huge impact. Earlier, we used to depend on a lot on writing content, developing creatives, developing ad copies. We used to have a lengthy process, and we used to have a lot of quality check and different teams involved in it. But with AI, some of these are becoming a lot more productive, a lot more efficient, and we're able to get this done in a quicker manner. So the way that we're executing, the way we are actually bringing content and other stuff into the market, it's drastically changed a lot. And on the other side, in terms of analytics, earlier most of the stuff that we had to actually do manually, right? Some of these things can be automated to a great extent now, and even in the analytics space, AI is making a huge impact. So I would say the fundamentals of marketing concepts are still the same, but how do you leverage digital marketing and how do you bring in AI into this entire
Is the
scenario
key.
and how to execute in a more productive manner? That's the key to, that's the way forward that I would say.
Yeah. So basically, I'm very keen to understand, like in digital marketing, are there any strategies towards businesses? Like how are you planning, especially competitive market like
Yeah.
Dubai, and like we have so many uh, AI focused exhibitions and events, and people, everyone is talking, everyone is crazy about
Yeah.
creating products in AI, telling like this is the coolest product,
Yeah.
try this, try not. So how do person like marketing professionals decide which tool to use, which tool not to use, and like
Yeah.
how do we get into that point?
See, if we go into the side of tools, tools keep evolving on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You get way too many tools. One of the questions that I repeatedly get asked in most of my programs is, students would come and say, I'm just overwhelmed. There are so many tools
So
coming
many
up.
tools.
I feel like I'm outdated, right?
Yeah.
So the simplest answer is you need to have your fundamentals strong. You need to have your strategy really clear. Tools come in after that. If your strategy is very clear, you understand the market really well, you know what the need is there in the market, and you're addressing it in an effective manner, you will find the right tool to execute it. So rather than focusing on the tool side, I would focus a lot more on the strategy aspect. So if the strategy is pretty much clear and the roadmap is clear, the tools will automatically fall into place. Then you don't have to learn all the tools, what is required for to execute your strategy. Then, having said that, one has to be aware of the capabilities of these systems. And if I don't know what AI's capabilities are, I will not be able to figure out how to leverage it in any way. So learning the capabilities is different, learning the tools is different, but having a clear strategy and roadmap would be the clear starting point. Once you have that in place, then you can, if you know the capabilities of AI, you know where you can actually leverage it, then automatically you'll go out and find a tool that will do that particular work. So that will be the approach that I would typically look at. Not necessary to learn every tool that's being launched, but you need to get the basic understanding of what AI's capabilities are. Currently, what are the models that are out there and what they're capable of doing. If you know that part, that's more than sufficient.
Yeah, because like when digital marketing topic came and like everyone has this pressure to adopt to be present in all the platforms,
Yeah.
irrespective your business is you
Requires them.
required to be on that platform or not. That
Yeah.
was not the case. Like
Yeah.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah.
wherever it is, you have to have a profile
True.
there. You have to be out there and talk about it. Like generate videos.
Yeah.
Even if people are not interested in looking at your videos, but still as a part of
Yeah.
your job, you have to make sure content is created on a regular basis. So I would say like content creation is one of the pain point of marketers. Like because when we have to, we know our strategy, we know our customers, but when it comes to creating contents and out of the box content is something big. So I used to work with STS group, and we had school buses. So my product was a school bus. It's a yellow bus. It has 4 wheels. So my content is the bus and students traveling on that bus to and fro. So it was morning time, evening time. What more can you do? So I worked in STS for almost 9 years.
Yeah.
For initial 2-3 years, it was super exciting. We had a lot of campaigns and everything. Towards end of 5 years, I was like, okay, either I'm not creative enough, or I don't know what to
I'll
do.
hit a dead end. Yeah.
How to get.
Yeah.
So is it? Do you think like over a period of time, like normal marketers have to upscale themselves, or do you think a product like AI will help us out in creating content and go out of the box and think out of the box?
Yeah, there are a couple of aspects to it. One, upskilling is definitely essential. So you definitely need to upskill yourself. You need to know what the current technology is and what it has to offer. Not from a technical point of view, but you need to
Just
know
the
its
business point
capability,
of
the
view.
business point of
Yeah.
view. If you know what it's capable of doing and you know the business really well, you can put these two together and create applications, right? On the other side, having said that, upskilling is extremely essential. In terms of whether AI would change the way that we would think, it has actually increased the productivity to a great extent. Earlier, like I mentioned, to create content, we used to have a long process, and it has to be copy edited. Then there is an editorial process and so on. But now we don't really need freelance content writers anymore. You can generate.
ChatGPT is
It can
my
create.
best friend currently.
Yeah,
So
it can generate a lot of content on the go. But on the other side, one has to know how to leverage GPT to get the
Exactly.
content in the right
Exactly.
manner. So the training has to be more on how do I, build applications out of GPT or leveraging AI so that I can create content that is specific to my particular business, and it keeps building on that particular aspect and becomes more in detail. Rather than saying, if I give one line prompt to ChatGPT and say, give me a content on a particular topic, it'll give me a generic one.
Exactly.
Right?
And people will not
Exactly.
connect to it. So there is no point just putting something out there where people
Exactly.
think, okay, it is ChatGPT content. Like,
Exactly.
why would I bother reading it out?
Yeah. So the key is to know how to train, how to build your content repository, your documents about your organization, everything into a repository. You tap into that repository and then you build the content. It becomes a lot more unique and relevant to your particular business. Right. One simple example is creating a custom GPT with all the documents about your organization, about your target segment, about your marketing platforms, what are the previous initiatives you have done, what are the results for those. Then you have a custom GPT which has understood everything about your business. Now you tap into it and ask questions which are much more relevant and specific. You'll get the content that's a lot more relevant. And the other thing that we get asked is, earlier we used to say content is king. We need to create content, a lot of articles, everything, put it on a website.
Like
Now,
SEOs and
SEOs,
keywords
exactly.
and this and that.
Because
And
you
people
want to
don't
be,
even know half of the time, like,
Exactly.
which keywords are we talking about? What are those top 20 or 30 keywords? Like,
Exactly.
So
So earlier that used to be the conversation, right? Now, but let's say if I'm looking for some information, am I likely to go into Google and search for information, or am I going to use ChatGPT? Right?
Yeah.
So, but Google definitely has its place. People are searching for products there. People are searching for services. They look for places, places nearby, and so on. So that way, Google has its place. But in terms of, let's say, information, earlier, if I wanted to learn something like what is net present value, I would go to Google and type in what is net present value. Now I would just take up ChatGPT and type in, what is net present value. And the other example that I use in class is, earlier if I want to learn about a particular recipe, I'll type that recipe name in Google. I'll figure out which one is more attractive. I'll try to follow it. Now I'll take a picture of what is there in my kitchen and what is there in my refrigerator. I'll upload to ChatGPT and say, tell me what I can make with this. So the way that we are searching for information, looking for information has drastically transformed. Right. So the content is not exactly how it was perceived to be earlier. Now you need to look at it from a different standpoint. So if ChatGPT is going to leverage all the content you're posting online in the public domain and it's going to provide that information to everybody with no credit being attributed to the website, then is content an asset, right? So
Yeah.
content creation has become easy, but is content really an asset for you anymore? So that's
Exactly.
a question one has to answer.
Yeah.
So there are strategies to figure out, how I can make content still an asset for me. So I create content, I make it an asset and make it work in GPT as well as in Google. So that's the critical part of formulating a strategy in the digital marketing side, at least. Yeah.
As a marketer myself, like it is like my dream product. I don't know if it is still available. If it is available, like we will definitely gonna use it.
Yeah.
So what I always wanted is like I need to create content, out of the box content, and I know these are my competitors.
Yeah.
I want a chat GPT kind of a platform wherein I can just say, okay, fine, these are my competitors.
Yeah.
These are the platforms they are visible on. And I want you to continuously research on them, see which all post is being uploaded, made from their side. And most importantly, which post getting more likes, hits, followers, like questions, comments and everything. And then use your brain to come out of the box and give me content which I can compete or I can go beyond their like my competitors. So this is something which I always feel will be very, very helpful for people.
I think we're not very far away from
No?
creating something
So
like
it is
that.
not there right now?
No, right now it is there. A combination. You'll have to use a couple of platforms to get this done.
Okay,
but,
not on one product.
Not on one product, but right now we have something called ChatGPT tasks. So where
That
I can
know,
say that,
yeah.
yesterday we tried out one thing. So go to Google Ads in the morning at 9 o'clock, search for my particular brand name. As soon as my competitor bids for it, give me an alert.
Yeah.
So that I get to
That's
know that
I'm
my
aware,
competitor is coming and bidding for it. There is another platform where it's Radeon 6 from Social Studio. It's a part of Salesforce. And they have this complete social media listening platform where they can pull in all the comments, everything related to a particular firm. It could be a competitor, it could be your own
So
firm.
you can just scroll
You
through
can
it.
scroll through it and you add Gen AI capability to it. Automatically, what you spoke about becomes a reality. That's it. So you can just add and they're not very far. I mean, it's Salesforce. They will definitely be adding the Gen AI capability at any point. So you combine some of these.
This is like a dream product.
Yeah.
This is like for every marketing, you just get up and you know, okay, fine, this content is
your
like
decision making becomes a lot more
easier.
simpler.
And
you get the information in front of you.
But you will be competing. So whose product like platform is generating more content will be the thing now. But yeah. The most important question which people in UAE, so we have so many events and it's more towards encouraging startups, especially in AI. So I myself, like, we have, Styler is basically a fashion AI. We are trying to build a fundamental AI platform for fashion. So basically, Chat GPT for fashion. This is what we aim for. So it's more about styling and fashion. So, but I wanted to understand, like, how we can leverage AI for as marketing aspects. Like people ask us about our go-to strategy. They say like, okay, so this is a product, fantastic. How you're gonna market it? Go to. And the questions and the answer is pretty much repetitive. Okay, influencers and this and that and all that. Like, and people say like, okay, it's copy paste. How do I or anyone specifically, like us scaling up a business or trying to make a strategy? How can we make out of the box strategy with the help of AI?
See, one is leveraging AI and getting people to use AI itself. For instance, a simple example is you're building your own application, right? You're building your own platform where people can come and talk about everything. Style themselves. So create a smaller version of that in ChatGPT, within ChatGPT platform. So because people log into that platform. After Google, the one that actually had the highest number of adoptions is ChatGPT. So build a small application within the ChatGPT platform. There you can actually bring in some small features from your application into the ChatGPT platform itself, and providing that link to end users to get a taste of what they can actually go through in the main platform.
R is an application, so that we like prompt people to download app. It scans your body with your picture. It'll analyze your measurements, and then we ask you taste. We understand you which clothing you like, which you don't like. So we'll try to understand your brain and your preferences. So once we have your profile, we're gonna present your looks, which you can see it on yourself. If you like it, you can straight away buy from e-commerce. So we are trying to do this seamlessly. This is the idea.
So, see, for instance, a simple example is, see, the same thing I can go to ChatGPT and say, here is my picture of myself. These are my actually preferences. This is what I prefer. That's also going to throw me some suggestions, right? And how you can leverage it here is, let's say I create a separate custom GPT with your app, branded with your app, and then you link something called, we have actions. So you create an API link to your particular algorithm, and say if these questions come up, I want to use, rather than the generic response that ChatGPT is going to give, I'm going to give my particular insight to them, right?
Okay.
Then there they're getting a taste of what they're likely to get. And the image generation in DALL-E, it's not going to be that specific to that particular request. So that's where your app will come in to a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
extent. So from there, you can link it to your own app and say that, you can take it forward and see yourself in these particular outfits. You can even order these customized outfits in our particular platform. Here is a link. Then you take them to it. Many companies are actually developing those custom GPTs and plugins within the platform, and they're
Okay.
promoting those plugins and custom GPTs rather than promoting it anywhere in any other item. So because people go into ChatGPT and try out a lot of things, and
Yeah.
over there I like something, and then immediately below that there is a link. I can click on it and I can go there and try it out. That could be one way to leverage AI to market your own
Okay.
product
Yeah.
itself.
That's
Right.
interesting. Yeah, definitely. It will be part of our go-to-market
Yeah.
strategy.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so given this rapid transformation in digital marketing, what led IIM Calcutta launch this program here in UAE region?
Yeah.
So tell us more about that.
So one of the things that we noticed in the market is people know that they need to adopt AI, but there were a couple of gaps. They don't know the capabilities. They don't have to do on the technology per se. You don't have to learn the math behind it. You don't have to learn the
I don't
intuition
know
behind it.
anything about technology,
Exactly.
but
Right.
still,
You're an active user and you understand its capabilities.
Yes.
That's the whole idea. So we found that there is a huge gap there, and then we also know that the moment we give them certain ideas, we share few case studies, and we figure out this is how these capabilities have been leveraged in different scenarios. This is how some of these capabilities are used in manufacturing, some of these are used in textile, some of these are used in marketing domain, some of these are used for creating content and so on. The moment we connect these dots, people get a lot of ideas. Their creative ideas start flowing in, and they start working out on a lot of different new applications. So the idea for us was, we are not going to talk about the technology behind it, but we are going to talk about how to leverage it and how companies are leveraging it and what are the different strategies, and we're going to handhold the participants to apply some of these in their organizations. That is the idea that we initially had, and that is the objective with which we started the program here in UAE. So the program is called Advanced Program in Digital Marketing Strategy, AI
And AI.
and AI. And so the idea here is, we are not really going to take you through any of the technical aspects or the math behind
You
it.
don't have to
Nothing.
be engineer.
You don't have to be an
Very
engineer.
good. Okay,
Exactly. That's
fine.
the idea. Right. So that's the focus of the program. Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. So is there any tools which you will be
Yeah.
telling about, these are the tools which you should use as a marketeer, or yeah.
Yeah. So while we have a plethora of tools in the market, we don't say this is a tool you should
You
use,
should,
but we give them the ideas of,
preferably,
these are all the
yeah.
tools that are available. For instance, definitely we cover the Google Ads platform, we cover the Meta platform, we cover the LinkedIn, the typical platforms. How to run the ads. That is a very small part of the program.
Okay.
But apart from that, we look at some of these social media reputation management tools and other stuff, where you get the data in a single platform and you can actually work with it. We also, from the AI side, we look at, obviously all of us use ChatGPT, but we go one step forward and we look at, let's say, Mid-Journey. We look at how to create images. We also look at InVideo on how to generate videos using leveraging ChatGPT to create the video narratives. So those are some of the hands-on, but that is also a smaller component of the program. On top of it, we also introduce them to different platforms that are available: Microsoft Azure, AWS Bedrock, and you have Google Cloud. What these platforms are and what they can bring to the table for an organization. So all of us use ChatGPT and say, I'm a user, so I know how AI works. But typically, if you ask someone, they'll say, I'm using it to refine an email. I'm using it to refine few sentences and create that. But it has a lot more to offer for an organization. So you need to strategically figure out how to implement it at an enterprise level. That's another aspect that we cover in the program. Yeah.
So under AI, apart from ChatGPT, is there any other platform, any other tools which people should look into?
One is definitely video generation platforms,
Okay.
where it's not generating video which looks artificial. The idea here is, based on your narrative, it's going to pick out the real life videos that actually match this particular description and stitch together your entire content with a voiceover in the background. So it's a very realistic video, and it's actually a very good story that is built in. So what we talk about is, how do you approach, one of the things that we talk about is, how do you approach creating these videos? What is the strategy that goes behind it? Because you can create any sort of video with a prompt, but how do you strategize it, how do you structure it, and how do you actually implement and get these videos to create a brand name for yourself in the market? So that's the approach that we take. That's one example of another tool that we talk about, which is a video
content.
generation.
Yeah.
Apart from that, we also, like I mentioned, we don't just talk about ChatGPT, we talk about custom GPTs. And once you create those custom GPTs, once you know, that's kind of like a
My
playground.
go-to strategy.
Yeah, you try out the custom GPT, and within an organization, how do you take it one step forward and implement it on a large scale using, let's say, Azure AI or something. So we just cover the basics of those. So it's not a tools and technique driven program, it's more of an application driven program in some sense. Yeah.
Could you just give us an overview of all the key topics which you will be covering in this program?
So definitely we'll be covering digital marketing strategy. We'll start with digital marketing strategy. We'll talk about Google search engine marketing. We don't go a lot into search engine optimization keywords. Those may not be too relevant at this point in time. So we talk a little bit more about paid search marketing and how to leverage AI in paid search marketing as well, how to build your strategies, how to refine, how to evaluate and monitor. That's one part of the program. The other part, we go into social media. So we talk about what are the different strategies that companies have adopted in the past, what has worked, what has not worked,
So
what are
are
the
you
key
a big
learnings.
fan of influencers on social media, or do you feel they are overhyped?
I'm not a big fan of mega influencers.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of a strategy where you identify micro influencers and make a huge impact. I'm also a big fan of creating influencers out of your own customers. You have some of your customers who are really, who have a high opinion leadership within the community, and they don't call themselves as influencers because they don't think of themselves as influencers. But you identify them among your customer base and you get them to champion your product, it works like a magic.
That's kind of a little bit part of our styler. This is what we have thought is like with the help of styler, someone will gonna style, like styler will style you. You will have your digital wardrobe, then you can share your digital wardrobe on social media. So with your AI avatar, you don't have to think what you will say. At a later stage, AI avatar will talk about you on your behalf. So you will be chilling, sitting, and an AI avatar of me will be walking around with a styled by styler. So that's the vision which we have in our mind. Like this is where we want to head to. But I get the idea, because right now there are like 10 influencers, let's say, and they have 10 million, 20 million followers. So it doesn't really make sense to me either. Why am I following those 10 people and why those millions of people following them? Wherein I know my body, I understand what will look good on me. So instead of doing that, we are just blindly looking at influencers.
And if you look at the influencers, if they have 10 million, so I mean, are all the 10 million your target segment? Not really. Right?
Exactly,
so
not
you
really.
need to have the clear idea on what exactly is the split of the demographic or the kind of needs and motivations of those 10 million. So that's completely different, and there's a lot of segments that are present. That's why we typically focus on micro influencers, like 5,000 to 10,000 followers, but they have a very clear objective and they're following that person for a particular reason. Exactly. Then if that matches your target segment description, you can very well go for that influencer rather than spending a huge amount of money to get a. That could be fine for brand awareness, but it's not going to give you conversions in a large scale in the short run, neither in the long run as well. Yeah.
So who is your ideal candidate for this course?
So anyone who is
ambitious.
No, I wouldn't say studious because there's not going to be more like a, let's say, a degree program. It's more of an application oriented program. So definitely anyone ambitious who wants to learn, who's interested in learning something that is state of the art, that is new in the market, and wants himself or herself to be staying up to date. So this, it could be a person who was trying to make a move from who's in a traditional marketing role but wants to learn, digital marketing and
what's happening out there in the market,
and want to spearhead that, initiative in their own organization. They want to take their organization to the next level in the digital marketing space. That's definitely a suitable candidate. An entrepreneur or a startup founder who wants to, because that's a one person show, so who has to run everything, who has to strategize everything.
Thank God for that.
So someone who is actually looking at running understanding marketing, digital marketing, and how to bring in AI right from the beginning, right? Not just in marketing part, but within the company, the processes and other stuff, how they can set up, how they can leverage AI to set all this up, so that when they scale up, it's the process are already in place, right? So that is definitely another suitable candidate. And third one would be, let's say, anybody who's in another domain, but who wants to learn and who wants to stay up to date in digital and AI domain is a suitable candidate. So I would say these are the main people that we are looking at.
Usually with courses, it happens like, you study something inside class, but you really, when you get out of your course and you try to implement it in your real world corporate life, you feel, okay, I don't know how to incorporate that. And theoretically it was viable, but practically I don't see it happening at all. So in this program, I hope that has been considered.
That is not the issue. So here it's more of a hands-on program. When I say hands-on, it's not purely theoretical. We do have a significant part of the program is about simulations. right? Where, let's say, if we are talking about search engine marketing, the students will go back and they will have about 1 month to work on a platform, which is a very simple platform where they will have to run search engine campaigns on their own. They'll be able to see the results of the search engine campaigns, how well they're doing compared to the others in the class. So it's a simulation
Will they
driven
get
program.
lead also on this part? Then I'm joining.
No, it's a simulated platform. It's not the real world, right? So the moment they do this over a period of time, it becomes like a habit. So now, what we have realized is when people do this over a period of 6 months, they have run a simulation for 3 months on search engines, 3 months on social media. In the back of the mind, they've learned all these different techniques, different strategies. When they go into the real world, they start adopting it immediately. So a couple of examples from, we have run the APDMS AI in UAE couple of years ago, one batch, and one person actually started an agency after that. She quit his job, started an agency, digital marketing agency, who's doing really well now. There's another person who's actually a personal, I think, Instagram manager for one of the princes, and I forgot the location. And we have other examples of people in India, so who have actually started their own agencies, formed partnerships, who have taken up digital marketing roles, completely left their other job. It was in operations or it was in traditional
So you're
marketing.
motivating everyone to leave job, start their own.
Start their own, or spearhead the digital marketing initiative within the organization, or take the organization to the next level. That's the idea.
That's the idea. Yeah, that was my last question, second last question, not sure.
Yeah.
But the professionals, like how would professional get benefit out of this program? Like, giving back, we say giving back to, because obviously when you are in a job, you have a responsibility. You have to have your 9 to 5 job or 8 to 6 job, like, but then you also have to learn and like, it's a commitment. So do you think as a professional will get benefit out of that?
Sure. We have designed the program in a way that it's not going to affect your business as usual. So every month there'll be one weekend where faculty from IIM Calcutta will be visiting Dubai, and there'll be in-person classes, 6 hours on a Saturday, 6 hours on Sunday. That's it. The rest 3 weekends are completely free. You are just, dedicating one weekend in a month.
You're studying all weekend.
Not necessarily. You are actually working on those platforms, which is more like, a fun platform where you are deciding what images to post on, so let's say Instagram, or what caption do I want to write in the simulated environment, and you're seeing the results right there. So it's more of a fun learning. That's where the simulation comes in. And you get to work with, you form new friendships. Yesterday we met some of the alumni, and they've become a really close group, and they're going out on every weekend. They're meeting few times in a month and so on. So you build a good community as well, good peer group as well. So there's a lot of other elements. So the part about
networking
is also the
everything,
key for it. So it's not going to affect the business as usual. So 5 months we'll have every month one weekend classes, and then in the last month we'll be taking you to IIM Calcutta, so where you will spend about 3 to 4 days there, and we'll have classes there where we'll end the program with that particular campus visit. So it's not going to affect your day-to-day things in any manner. That's the idea. But you definitely have to, the program is rigorous, you definitely have to put in a lot of work, but having said that, it's a fun experience. That's it. Yeah.
So are there any success stories apart from those, I think, in India, or anyone which you can highlight?
Yeah, definitely. So I have a couple of people that come to my mind who did the course on digital marketing in, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. She went on to write a book on selling on Amazon, and she dedicated the book to me because I was the one who taught her about Amazon platform in the first place, right, as part of the program. And now she's a head of marketing in a really good MNC in India, working out of Gurgaon. And I have the other person that comes to my mind is who was in the non-profit side. She was actually a fundraiser in one of the companies, and now she has set up her own digital marketing agency, and she's doing really well. So I have over the period of 7 to 8 years, in the last 7 to 8 years, we've had examples of at least 10 to 12 agencies being created out of this particular program.
I will definitely take those numbers offline.
Definitely.
We will need that for sure for Styler.
And the key part is with one batch, we could actually make a huge impact in Dubai as well. So we had several success stories in Dubai as well. Yeah.
It seems like our question answer round is over. Thank you so much for your time and enlightening us about the whole program and everything. I think I'm motivated myself. I'm going to join it. So
I'm hoping to see you in class.
Yes, definitely. I won't be that studious one, but definitely the fun one.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.